Hello, Goat Knucklers. Welcome back to Goat Knuckle Talk with Flo. I am Flo. Before I introduce you to my co-host, I want to remind you when you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. And one thing is also hit the notification bell. Click on that so you'll be notified when I publish future shows. So let me go ahead and introduce you to my co-host, Lisa Nolan Hafner. Hey, Lisa.
Hey Flo, how are you today?
I am good. So I don't recognize any of these ladies. I don't know who in the hell they are.
We have some really special guests tonight. We are so excited and honored to have the class of 79 gals from Permian, right?
Odessa Permian, yes.
Permian, yes. And some of their cohorts were on here, fellow football players, fellow teammates, and they inspired us to invite these lovely women to come and join us tonight and spend a couple of hours just chatting and reminiscing and sharing stories about, living in West Texas. So welcome, girls. I'm going to introduce each of you. Obviously you're all from class of 79, but I'm going to ask you where you're living right now. So first, please welcome Alyssa Jenkins Goat. Where are you living, Alyssa?
I'm still in Odessa.
You're still in Odessa, okay. And then Joni Gardner
No,
McKee.
she's not on.
Joni's right here.
Oh, Joni, my
Hi.
bad. I said Joni. My bad, my bad.
Joni, where are you living?
I have been in Houston for the past 37 years.
Okay, well, your neighbor's with Flo. He's right outside of Houston.
Oh. Yes, he is.
Yes. Donnella Clark Oliver, where are you living?
I live in Odessa.
You live in Odessa. Okay, awesome. And then Katie Young Graves.
Live in Odessa as well.
Okay,
Cool.
wonderful. Thank you
Well,
and welcome.
well, good. Right. Well, before we start the questions, I want to give props to three people. One is Joni. Thank you, Joni, for putting these ladies together, gathering them together, and then I guess threaten them to come on the show. I'm kidding, ladies. Thank you. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Randy Peterson, who helped me with the questions. Because we have no idea what you guys did in Odessa. So he helped me with some landmarks and people homes and things like that. So thank you, Randy. And of course, I want to thank Vic Vines. He's the one who originally gave me Joni's name and to put this. And also, I'm going to go ahead. He wanted to ask you ladies a question. Your buddy Vic. He wants to know in y'all's background and growing up in Odessa, what kept y'all in contact for 45 years? I'll start with Joni, the leader.
Well, we've all known each other since elementary and continued on junior high and high school. And I don't know, you have good friends, you stay good friends. So we've just always stayed in touch. You don't have to stay in touch daily.
Right. Yeah. Donella, what do you think? Why did y'all stay so close together for 45 plus years?
Well, I think we all kind of have kids the same age too. Like Alyssa and I, our kids went to elementary school together, so I would see her, at elementary things. And I think we all have kids kind of the same age. And also, I guess we just have a good friendship. We, you know, we can call each other and say, oh, did you hear about this or you hear about that, and or hey, what happened here? And so I think we just all kept in contact through that too.
Great. What about you, Alyssa?
Well, Joni's always kind of been our ringleader, keeping us in contact, but we've always, called each other and gotten together, maybe done trips and stuff. But then I guess just about 3 or 4 years ago, Katie really kind of instigated us getting together with a group text, and that's made us, I think, even more closer because we can just post up whenever it's convenient, and that's I'm going to give her credit for that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Nice. Well
Absolutely.
done. Katie?
Well, I can't take credit for that because that's really more Randy, because Randy invited, they have a thread of 17 guys that most of them went to Permian. I think there's one outsider, but they went on a trip and they had such a good time. And then they started this thread, and I thought, why haven't we done that? Because, we just, not that we ever let anything ebb and flow, but it wasn't as cohesive and easily, you could text Donnell one thing and then you think, did I tell Alyssa or whatever? And so I thought, let's do that. And so I kind of jumped off on their bandwagon and plagiarized, and here we are.
Nice.
Do you
Well,
think,
hey,
I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, no, I was gonna say, Katie, you named this group Alice Pepettes, and I know that's Alice Jeffers.
Uh-huh.
She was a health teacher, and she was your sponsor.
Yeah.
Why did you want to name this group after her?
She was just such a driving force in our lives. She was a mother of one of our friends, and he played football and all that, but she was just our go-to person. If we had boyfriend problems, we could go to Alice, or if we had, just, I'm mad at such and such, you'd tell Alice. She was just our glue that kind of held us together, especially our senior year. And she was just such a blessing to us all. And she's passed on now. And I thought, well, she may not know, but she was a really special lady.
Wow, what a great
Cool.
way to honor her, to call your group that. But when you were saying about, jumping on the bandwagon and copying the guys, do y'all feel that you have become even closer than you were before by having this thread, a group text that you can communicate more often and be in touch easier? It's one of the benefits of modern technology. So do you feel that starting the group thread bonded y'all even more at this stage in your lives?
Joni?
I do. Oh, go ahead.
I do.
Okay. Why is that?
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of text threads, and some of them we don't share everything with everyone. It's kind of some inside stuff that they may include. But no, we just we have common thoughts and ideas, and a lot of the same kind of sense of humor. So we enjoy. It's just fun.
Well, also, it's enabled us to plan trips together. I think, like we've done more out of town trips, and I mean, like really like spending the night with each other overnight. Some of them.
I'm going to interject here. I'm not missing another one. I want it on record. I'm not missing another.
Well, it's going to be on record here now.
There you go.
We're
We're holding you to it.
Yes. So Alyssa, you want to talk about one of those trips that y'all have taken?
Okay, yeah, we the most recent that Katie missed because she fell down the stairs and broke her ankle.
Ouch.
3 spots.
We went to Joni's family had some land in Junction, and they had it for I don't know how Joni'd have to tell us that, but then she and her husband purchased some land adjacent, and they have 2 really nice houses there, and so she invited us to go for a little girls trip, and Cheryl was able to join us. Let's see, Katie could not. I guess it was just the 4 of us that time, wasn't it? And I think the most fun we had was when we were inner tubing down the Llano River and ran into this tree that they'd had a big bad storm, I guess a couple of nights before, and a tree had fallen over the river, and so we kind of had to navigate under the tree to get through it. But it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time, and
We live.
Make it special.
Yeah, we did live, but that completely across the river, which I've done that river before, and that hadn't happened before. And then my inner tube like went flat, so I joined Donnella's inner tube. And yeah, can't mess with Mother Nature. Like when we were heading for that log, like just give it up. You're going. And Donnell and I were on the other side, and we turn around. Here comes Alyssa, and she just pops right out. She just went right underneath. So fun.
It was fun. Had a good time.
The pictures looked fun.
So
She,
Yeah.
How many
She-
trips have y'all taken all together so far?
I think three. haven't we?
Three. Three. We've
Okay.
gone to Alyssa's house in Odessa twice.
Yeah. And then Katie's, we went to
Yeah.
the
Oh,
lake.
yeah, that's right, Katie. I didn't get to
Sweetwater.
go to Katie's. Yeah. So maybe 4 or
We did.
5, right?
We've grown up to going to Katie's.
Sweetwater twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sounds
Sweetwater's fun.
that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, we have a class of in our class of 83. We have there's a group of Lori and Rosa and other Lori. I mean, yeah, they've been doing the same thing for the last, I don't know, 10 years maybe. They go somewhere in Texas and just do a girls trip, and that's pretty
I don't
cool
know
that you
why
guys
we
would do
didn't
it.
start earlier. I just, when Randy did that, I thought, why haven't we been doing that? And so
Yeah.
now we are.
Yay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good for y'all. I mean, I think it's really wonderful when you can maintain these close ties with people that you've grown up with. You know, they're your second family. They know all about you and they still love you and they still choose you. So, your real family doesn't have a choice. But when you can remain friends for this long, I think it's just such a special gift. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to have y'all on. So I'm going to ask the first question because, Plainview isn't known for oil and gas, but Midland, Odessa obviously is the heart of the oil and gas industry in the U.S. So can you share a little bit about what the culture was like back when you guys were in high school, which was the late 70s? I mean,
That is definitely a Randy Peterson question. I can just hear him say it.
Randy, what would he say about that? I mean, because, that Midland, Odessa's grown a lot since your time in high school.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, what was the city and the culture like during your growing up years?
Jody?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I knew we grew up in the oil and gas industry, but I didn't really think about it. My dad wasn't in oil and gas. I mean, we all had parents did all different things. I don't know. I didn't really think about it really, it was just Odessa.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it being like an oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing too, I think the only reason to come here is to work. So I think it had a really
People are
good
not.
work. Yeah. It had a good work ethic, and people came here to work, and there wasn't a whole lot to do here, so you went and watched your kids do stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say you guys have Friday Night Lights that put you guys on the map, I guess. The TV and the TV show. Now you have Landman with old Billy Bob. Do you guys watch that show?
Yeah.
Katie?
I tried and it was.
I tried. I couldn't do it.
Do y'all see landmarks like restaurants that you guys go to?
Nothing. The stadium. They're driving through
I'm sorry?
Texas. We don't have at all.
Most
We don't have those like kids. Yes.
I mean, I want to know was that Bikini Coffee? I just want to go there and go. So
is that?
I want to get. I don't drink coffee, but I will drink coffee.
Martin, who y'all interviewed, it's on West County Road, not too far from his office. And I don't know that he's been there, but he knows a ton of people. I know, Donnell, I see the look.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not that he's above that. I just think, but it's really there, and they really serve coffee in bikini tops, and it's in what was a snow cone hut. I don't know what it is on the movie or the series, but I guess they're just trying to make a buck.
Well, Katie, I want to know why you couldn't get into the show. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Just the language and the sexual content. I'm really at this point in my life trying to limit what I bring in, garbage out type thing. But I was telling my daughter one of the things they said, and she's 39, and she said, I cannot believe those words just came out of your mouth. And I said, I'm just trying to tell you how vulgar. I mean, it's not just nasty, but it is vulgar. And I just said, I don't have to do this. I'm sorry to miss being able to discuss it with people, but it's just not worth it to me.
You know, what got me was the first time they had made some snide remark about Odessa. I was like, I'm out. Yeah.
I bet there's been
she was picking.
since then.
I was like, I don't need to watch.
Yeah, it sounds like the producer should have spent more time there really getting to know the culture of the community in order to have a better, depiction of
even Friday Night Lights, there's very little of that actually is true. I mean, we had brick homes and, we had normal people with teeth and everything, and they just sensationalized it.
Well, they got to make money, so they've got to make it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Alyssa, do you know anybody may have been a what do you call them? Geez, not a guest, but someone in the background. You guys know anyone that may have been on the TV show as an extra? Alyssa, do you know?
My daughter was in the movie. She was on the trailer.
Friday Night Lights. Yeah. This is what she's talking about.
Yeah. On the movie, yeah, Friday Night Lights. She was in the trailer when the big stadium lights are coming on, like popping on one at a time. She does this incredible split jump, and so that's her claim to fame. They never got a disclaimer for her on that, but I'm excited that she was in it. It was fun. She didn't look anything like herself because they did all the bouffant hairdos from the 90s, but it was she enjoyed that.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun.
My son, my oldest son was in the movie. He was a senior in high school. He played football, and they filmed every game that season. And then when they made the movie in the spring, he's in several scenes in the movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Nice. What about it?
It didn't look like high school. We didn't have those kind of parties.
No,
really didn't.
Well, I heard different, but that's okay.
Okay.
I'm sure there were some.
We knew people that did.
What about you, Katie?
We did not participate.
What about me?
Do you know anyone or you or?
I know. I mean, I don't even know what his original title was, but there's a man who was like associate principal, and his name's Buddy Hale, and he just thrived on the variety. And he tried to be in every scene he could be in, but he also was a very big. He's passed on too, but he was a huge promoter of Odessa. So I thought that was just fitting that he, or not Odessa Permian. And, so I think that it was just, he was so excited. But as far as family members or anything, no.
Tony, what about you?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I said maybe he was hoping he was going to get his big break. Become a movie star.
Yeah, he would have loved that.
Well, a lot of outsiders don't realize a couple of things about West Texas, and I think it's true anywhere in West Texas, that one, it's fairly conservative, and two, that I think Donnella mentioned this, there's a really strong work ethic out in West Texas.
Absolutely.
I like to always say we were raised right. That's part of the culture of being a West Texan, and I'm really grateful for that. Growing up, you guys were in a much bigger town, but still, I think that's still prevalent today of having a strong work ethic. Coming from those West Texas towns, for sure.
Definitely did.
Of your group of girls, you said you were all friends in elementary school. Like, who became friends with who first?
Yeah, can you share your stories, Katie?
I was probably the last one because my family lived in Fort Worth till the 3rd grade, but my cousins and everything were in Odessa. So I was like, arms crossed. I want to live in Odessa, and my parents they're totally ignoring me. But somehow we ended up here. But then they bought a house in the wrong school district. And so I was just devastated because I always wanted to go to Gonzales because that's where my cousins had gone. And so when I got in the 5th grade, not because of my little fits that I would throw, but they bought a house in Gonzales district. And the first reporting period, I came home and I was so excited. And I said, Mom, I made a C- in conduct. I have friends. These are them. So, and it changed my life. It really did.
Nice.
Unfortunately, we probably still have a C- in conduct, I'm afraid.
if those things were recorded now. But I thought that was just a huge accomplishment. They weren't as excited, but.
Donella, what about you? How do you recall you guys meeting together?
Yeah, I came in 5th grade too. I came, we had lived on the west side of town and we moved, and yeah, Joni I was in class with Joni, so I became friends with Joni first, and then there just became a group of us that we all seemed to mesh together and hang out a lot. So it's Joni and Alyssa who have been friends the longest.
Yeah.
And Joni used to get me in trouble. Joni would get me in trouble in 1st grade. She would send me.
And how did she get you in trouble?
She would send me notes. We sat right next to each other, and we just were always constantly together. And we just, I guess it was the first day of school, we instantly built a relationship. And then we would leave the playground to show each other where we lived and all that, which was forbidden. We didn't realize that.
Well, it should have been.
I hope you didn't have to walk too far.
No, we didn't. We lived within walking distance of the school. And then
you can understand walking distance for kids could be 10 miles.
Oh no, it was like a block.
Okay.
A block or 2 blocks. And then we never were able to get in each other's class again. I think our teacher made a note on our charts that we weren't supposed to be in each other's class again because we talked too much. So.
Girls. I'm sorry, Joni.
No. Yeah, no. Alyssa and I did meet in 1st grade, and then we lived catty corner from each other. So like we could flip our lights off and on to each other because we could see each other's bedrooms. And then Donnella just lived around the corner and Katie lived around the corner. So we were all within walking distance for many, many years. But we were in Gonzales. That's with Martin, Vic, and Randy. All started also in 1st grade with us at Gonzales.
And Roger, yeah.
And Roger.
Mm-hmm. So did y'all have slumber parties, a lot of sleepovers?
All the time.
Yeah, a few prank phone calls. It wasn't my idea. I feel sure that was someone else's idea. But thank God.
Do you remember who you pranked and how you pranked them?
We used to call our teacher Miss Dozier. Bless her heart. Relentless. We just call and probably not say anything and just hang up and finally say, if you want something, say so. If you don't, then go to bed. So anyway, we would do that, and
toilet paper or whatever they call it now, filling people's houses.
That's what I was going to ask. Did y'all toilet paper or egg anybody's house?
We didn't egg, but we called it roll.
We egged a little. We did egg a little in junior high.
Well, when we were in high school, we threw biscuits at cars when we were in high school.
Yeah, biscuits. And then for some reason I threw a black cat and it was at a police car. I don't know, because that wasn't really my MO. I don't know how that, I have no memory of how it happened, but it's not.
A black
firecracker.
Firecracker.
Oh.
Not an animal.
Yeah, when you said, poor cat.
It could have gone
Well,
bad.
Well, they paid as a sponsor of this show.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I had to have been with one of us because I wasn't going to just, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe your future husband.
No,
You probably
no,
had connections.
he wouldn't have done that. Or my past boyfriend, he wouldn't have done it either. So I don't know who I was with.
Oh my
Probably.
gosh.
That's funny. Okay, what about Alyssa? Okay, okay, I'm going to start with Danella. What did you do back in school? What was weird? I know. Okay, let's go to the Pepettes. Let's talk about the Pepettes. All you guys were a Pepette. Am I pronouncing it right? Pepette?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I was
Yeah.
I was
Sorry?
not a Pepette. I played
Pepette.
volleyball. I was the only one that was not a Pepette. But
She was an
I played volleyball.
athlete.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. So I understand you guys like bake cookies for certain football players or did the yard sign. So who is your football player, Katie?
I had a really good football player. His name's Greg Lambert, and he was very good football player, and he was a very, very nice person that all of us took total advantage of all the time. He was a little older. He repeated a grade or something. And so he had a car. And so we would just say, Greg, pick us up and take us such and such. And why he did it, I don't know, but he did each and every time.
You'll also
Wow.
say, Greg, buy us some beer.
oh,
No,
Nah,
No baby bulls in this group, huh?
no.
yeah,
No.
well,
It's okay. It's 46 years ago.
no, I mean, but those were not drinking escapades. They were just escapades. I don't,
Oh,
like I said, I
okay.
don't, wow.
yeah.
I understand. I
Well, we
understand.
usually go to Villa, and then Katie always wanted to go to Swenson's, and so we'd take her to Swenson and made her eat her sandwich like in 10 seconds or something. So then we could go to Taco Villa. Come on, Katie, eat that sandwich. We're going to Taco Villa.
So that was the one you guys hang out. Well, hey, Joni, who was your football player?
Yeah, you said that. Okay, David White. He was a year younger than us in school, and then he had a brother, Danny White. He was our age, and then we had him for like basketball. I had Ricky McManigal for basketball, and yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we would put cookies in their lockers at school, and then also as Pepettes, I was talking to Donnell about this earlier today, and Katie and Alyssa, you probably remember this. Remember how we had to make a poster for our football player, and Alyssa had a good one too.
Oh,
We had to
Jody.
make one for our football player.
Or
And I
what?
don't remember, was it just two we had to make every week?
Two. Yeah, you had to
For
make
our,
a team poster
to
and
hang up in the hall.
a team poster, and then a one for
One
your
for your-
football player. Yeah,
Yeah.
one for your football
So in the
player.
summer, to get ahead of it, we thought we would make, all of the signs ahead of time and just have them rolled up. So then it was time, then you could just take them up there. And like you had to put your name on them. So like Miss Jeffers, our Pepette sponsor, she would walk by and then she would have to document that you made your signs for the week. And Alyssa had a good one time. She'll have to tell you about it. And then I know you were asking, on some of the questions you said about how we felt about Odessa High. I don't think really Odessa High wasn't that much of a rivalry because they weren't that good of a team. I mean, they were kind of good, but not really. Midland Lee was the one that we didn't really care for back in the day. So I did make a poster back in the day, and I didn't sign my name to it. And my principal was Tom Davis, and my mom worked for him once when he was at Bonham. I made a sign, and I thought y'all knew this. Donnell didn't know this. That said "P on Lee."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
Hung it up in the hall, and then I had office. I was assistant, and so Cheryl, who's not on with us, but Cheryl and I are walking around, and we see Mr. Davis, and he's taking that sign down. I'm thinking, now really, if they'd looked at it, they could see it was very consistent with all the other signs that I made. Whether or not they figured it out, I don't know, but they never did contact me and I didn't get in trouble, but I thought it was kind of clever. He on Lee. But
Yeah.
Alyssa probably did it better. Alyssa was kind of naive. So Alyssa, tell us about your sign.
Well, you talking about the Ted Nugent song?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what that was. I was so gullible and naive. But so I guess we were playing the San Angelo Wildcats. Was that it?
Bobcat. The Bobcats.
Yeah. And I this song was very popular and it was called Cat Scratch Fever. And I said,
Oh yeah.
Cat Scratch Fever. I didn't know what that was. I thought so everybody got a chuckle out of it. And I didn't know it was that funny.
Oh, that's good.
I bet San Angelo would have liked to have seen that.
The Angry Orange.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
what was it? What I mean, I know you guys were on it, but why? I mean, what is it a big tradition? I mean, why? Katie, why did you want to be one?
Well, I mean, you had your cheerleaders, but then, which was a very limited group. But being a Pepette, we rode together on the bus and we sat together at all the games in, uniforms and stuff. And it was definitely tradition, but it was a lot of fun too. We had I guess we didn't. Did we have tryouts or elections? I don't remember.
I read that the junior
I
of
think
your December year,
then
you guys
Yeah.
got voted in.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's any truth to it or not. So.
Right. That's right.
Good.
Yeah, because you started with basketball. You
Right.
ended with football.
Because after football was over, school was over.
Yeah. For everybody.
For everybody. Yeah.
The boys go the next Monday and their lockers are cleaned out and they're crying.
Yeah.
You brought up the fact that it was an oil and gas industry, and we did have a parade. I remember when the orchestra was there.
Oh yeah.
All the Pepettes, we all rode on a float. We had the Permian Pepettes, and we had those hard hats on. We had our Pepette suits and hard hats on.
Oh yeah.
So what was your uniform like? What did you wear?
And I think we were on the page.
Jody probably has a picture on her phone. She
Oh,
can
we had a
show.
black skirt. No, I
We had black and white striped
seen that.
sweaters.
Well, I don't even. Yes, but black sweater was like a traditional thing every year. Then we had like black and white check, long sleeve shirt, black skirt, a little vest. I mean, apron type doohickey thing.
A P with our name.
It wasn't that cute, really.
I thought they were.
Yes, a P with their name on it.
I thought they were pretty.
Cowboy hat?
What did you call
Do what?
saddle shoes? Black and white saddle shoes.
Yeah.
Probably either had to wear either black socks or black and white, or whatever they have to wear.
So do y'all know the history of the Pepettes? Like, when did it start?
No,
No.
I don't.
And how many Pepettes were there?
Well, that's what Randy said, that there was more of them than the varsity
yeah.
football.
There's like 75, I think.
Yeah, that's the number I'm thinking. 75.
I want to say there's a lot.
Yeah,
It is a lot.
That is a lot.
we still, like the band in one section and the Pepettes were on the other. I was in the top back row, and I loved it because I was right by the drums, which was really kind of fun to be by the drummers. But yeah, there was a lot of us. We had lots of fun cheers.
What's your
Some we made.
True.
cheer section, basically.
What's your dad?
Yeah, it was a cheer section. And Sabrina Godwin was our captain?
President. Yeah,
President,
whatever.
yeah. And we would play dominoes. Like, I was like, whoever was in the back would shove the person in front of them and they would all kind of fall over.
Funny.
That would have been fun.
Well, you guys mentioned Lambert. One of the questions on here that was told that you guys did a lot not want to say a lot, but you guys would do bonfires at Lambert's Land.
Oh,
We
The
didn't
different way
actually do them. Somebody else did them.
we showed up.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it
so
wasn't
can
And
regular.
once Joni's mother showed up.
tell us,
No.
share that story.
My mother came to Lambert's Land. I don't remember that.
When you drove mother's car, she would let you take her car. You'd already had your license. And so Mom said, well, you can
But
take
what-
that.
No. Out to Lambert's Land?
Maybe I'm making
Uh,
it up.
I don't remember that.
Maybe I'm making it
No,
up. But it seems like we were driving out and she was driving in.
I don't remember.
You would
know-
remember it happened.
Oh, I
You've
would.
never forgotten one thing ever.
That's true.
So what? So I'm driving your mom's Chinook, and we're on Grandview, and your mom pulled up beside us and went, like, y'all better go home. We were like, wow, we're caught. I don't think we were probably supposed to have this shit. Well, Katie wouldn't drive. She would have us take her cars, but she would let us drive.
Okay.
That's why I'm Miss Young's favorite.
Now, Nella, you have a look like you have some stories about those bonfires.
Well, I don't really remember. I only went a couple of times. It was really the kids that were older than us, I think, that really kind of started it. The Lamberts had, I think their sons were older than us.
They were 2 years older than us.
Yeah, so it was really, they were a lot older than us. We were lucky we even got to go out there. I'm sure they were probably like sophomores, get out. But yeah, I only a couple of times I remember, but I remember it being wild. Someone drove a Jeep over at one time and like drove a Jeep over the
That was probably
bonfire, and there was all kinds of fighting, and it was wild.
Everybody was always wanting to fight Greg Lambert.
Yes,
Right?
that's
yes.
From all over town. Odessa High, Permian.
Why?
Because he couldn't be beaten. And I mean, he truly was one of the nicest people. And people that he just
He's
didn't
not-
even know would come up and say, I want to fight you. He's going, no. But then they just kept on. And so he'd knock them down and then go on about his business.
Dang.
Oh my God.
Alyssa, did you fancy those bonfires?
I was on the diving team, and most of those were kind of in the spring, and that was when I was in full season, so I missed a lot of parties. But no, I don't remember going. I'm sure I went maybe once or twice, but I don't really remember it. I was out of town every weekend during that
And
time.
you were in the pool at 5 a.m., so you had to sleep sometime.
That's true.
But this was at night. They were at night, but we
I
were
know
at,
that the morning comes early if you have a late night.
yeah.
Sure.
Well,
what-
Just hung out at Taco Bell.
Do what?
At what age did your parents let you start dating?
I guess
Joni?
I don't know that there was ever a like you can't date, you won't date. I mean, because we started, high school, you were a sophomore. So it's not like, my parents had some other restrictions about dating, but I don't think age was one of them.
Well, twerp. Remember, we would do twerp, which wasn't really. I guess I don't know if you call it a date. Our parents took us to the restaurant.
Or my grandmother.
Did you guys go to the Barn Door? Is that one of the restaurants?
Yeah, and Oil Patch, and
Pumpkins.
was it Farmers Market? Was that the one on 8th Street?
Oh yeah.
The shrimp boat.
Shrimp Boat,
Really? The middle
Any
of
place.
West
Yeah.
Texas?
and it was actually good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Y'all do a lot of group dates. If you had a boyfriend, like you'd go with a bunch of other people.
I think when we were in
No.
junior high, we did that more. There'd be the whole group. We always went to the movies on Friday nights.
Yeah.
And so it'd be the whole group of us, 25 kids packed in one car, stacked on top of each other. And, one parent picking us up, another one taking us home. Yeah.
And they loved us at the movie theaters.
Oh, they
We
did.
got kicked out. And I don't know, it was because I was talking, but someone was talking. So we would leave and walk down to Marie's pool hall. I mean, now I look back at that and think, what were we thinking? Anyway, we'd go down to Marie's, and somehow no one wore a watch, but somehow we knew exactly how in and when to get back on time. And we did. Now, the guy at the Grandview, he really didn't like us at the Grandview. And remember, he's like little Donnie. Anyway, he really didn't like us. And he'd shine his, flashlight in his eye. I think we took a flashlight one time. And like if he was walking, then we would shine the light. Of course, he wouldn't know where it came from, but it was like real quick. And he really wasn't very nice. He liked to kick us out.
It was a Barney Five.
I mean, we gave him money to. Yes. They should have been happy we were there, but they weren't.
That's right.
Alyssa.
Do what?
He was an overzealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was thought he had a badge and a gun. He had a flashlight.
Y'all asked Jody about her bathroom key.
Oh.
The best
So
I ever, baby.
What? You're cutting out.
I said that was one of the best to have a key. Okay, so the deal is, Lisa and Flo, we had on the corner of Grandview and 42nd, University, there was a gas station, University, called Fast Gas. And they had, it's just like a convenience store gas station, but the doors were on the outside of the building. And so one time, we went, you have to go in and get the key. Well, I left with the key, went across the street to Gibson's and had keys made. I mean, I thought it was brilliant myself. So then if we were still out and you wanted to go to the bathroom, Fast Gas was closed, but we had a key to the bathroom. So, it's just to say. So, yes, we did have a key to Fast Gas for all those years. And
thank God there were videos weren't invented back then.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant, Tony. That's brilliant. You're so smart.
Clever girl.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes, it's brilliant.
So when you guys were hanging at Taco Villa, besides eating, I mean, what did you guys do? Just park and listen to music, or everybody try to find Lambert, or what's up?
Joni, you got to tell that story.
Okay, so Taco Villa. Well, Donnell's got a funny Taco Villa story too. We really just drove through, and the manager was like this little 5-foot dude named Jim, and like we irritated him that we drove. Well, don't you remember his name, Jim? Wasn't that right? Anyway, he was annoying. But, like Taco Villa is not like where everyone's going to go eat, right? It's not like gourmet food, so they should be happy that we are there. We are buying food and Cokes. But anyway, he really wasn't happy. So this one time, I thought he would block the drive so we couldn't circle through with some cars. So Alyssa was with me. And anyway, we went to some other guys. We went to this other guy's house who didn't live too far from there. And one of the guys, David, he called a tow truck driver. He said, "Hey, this is Jim over here at Taco Bell. We got some kids being a little smart ass over here. Could you come tow their cars?" And so then we sat across the street at the oil patch and we watched the tow truck drivers pull up. And you could see Jim go, there. His hands were just flying in the air. Anyway, that was really one of the best things I've ever done.
The statute of limitations has run out on that.
Yeah.
Donnella,
with Taco Bell.
Yeah, one time we were at Taco Villa and we were sophomores, and so there was a senior boy and a senior girl, and not our favorite people at the time, but we one of them the guy threw a bean burrito at the girl and it was all over her, and we just thought that was the most hilarious thing that had ever happened. We thought it was
I asked Martin about that because he was all involved in all that stuff too. and he doesn't have any memory of that. So
Oh, are you kidding me? It was one of the greatest nights of high school, I thought.
he's probably what they were fighting about.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably true. Probably true.
Remember how
The other thing I remember.
remember how mean we
Everyone
were
that
with
worked.
oh, go ahead.
But no, you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, remember how mean we were with the hot sauces? I guess they would fill up with air, and when you opened them, the sauce would pop out. So we'd pop it out at each other, like get hot sauce on each other's clothes when we opened them. Y'all not remember that?
Remember how Vic would lick the whole taco burger so nobody would ask for a bite?
No, I the drive through there. I'm like, why does everyone that work at Taco Villa have a hickey? Don't you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Or Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dairy Queen or Taco Villa hickeys.
I guess that's the criteria to work there. They had to have hickey. So
that's it.
That's funny. But see, our Taco Villa in Plainview, we loved it. Well, I never ate there, but all the podcasts we've had, people always mention Taco Villa. They loved eating there. We didn't hang out at Taco Villa. We actually went there and ate. So I guess back in the day, that wasn't true with you guys.
Well, we ate there, so.
And we still do,
but
close to Permian. It was in this back parking lot behind the mall. So, it wasn't like on a busy street. And anyway, it was just a fun place to hang out for some reason.
And y'all hang out on Friday and Saturdays?
Oh boy.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. Well, somebody mentioned pool. And one of the things Randy said that you guys used to go to Katie's. And he said also Kathy. I don't know if it's the same person, but
no,
I guess
not.
Katie. Do you have a pool?
My parents did.
And you guys had several outings or little gatherings there?
We were there a lot.
Okay. Well, can you share a little story or two?
Just my mom made everything fun, and she wanted all the kids around, and so she just opened up her house for almost everybody, and just people. It was very laid back and just basically, not anything special, just kind of hanging out. And when we first moved to that house in the winter, we could swim because it was covered. It was, I don't know, like a garden. I don't know what you call it. And you could roll back the top in the summer, but then they took all that down. So but for a while, it was a year-round playground for us. The smoke.
All through high school, right?
Do you remember the smoke when it was cold outside?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It was one of my favorite places ever. Spent a lot of time there.
Nice.
Here's a question that's not on the list. So, of all your parents, who had the coolest parents?
Oh, Katie, by far.
Okay.
Yeah. Her mom was the best.
Yeah.
And Donnella's mom was fun too.
Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah, Donnella's mom.
Remember when she would take us to what was that? It was like a Sonic, and let us after church. We'd ask her to take us to it wasn't Sonic, it was Stars or something like that. It was like a Sonic, and we'd say, "Take us there," and she'd say, "No, no," and then we'd pull her wig off. We'd tell her we were going to pull her wig off. She didn't take us. And then we ordered those drinks and thought they were alcoholic and thought we were. Did you see the way they looked at us when we ordered the drink? They were
like a green grasshopper.
Yeah. We thought we were.
They should get us donuts and we'd sit in the parking lot when we were supposed to be in church and eat donuts going to church.
We
might have skipped church a few times, maybe.
And then Donnella, you'd ask your sister what was the last hymn they sang. So when she got in the car, we'd be humming it like we were still.
That's
Dang.
Yeah. When we were in 8th grade, I had an 8th grade boyfriend that went to Bonham. And so we went to church together. So I would bring all the 7th grade girls and he would bring all the 8th grade boys. And we did a lot of church stuff. Like in the summer, I think. There was always a big group of us going.
Cool. So how did you guys get along with Midland League high schoolers? I mean, I'm talking about not sports related, but just general Midland League rebels coming to your territory.
I didn't know any of them.
I didn't know any of them.
So,
We
but
did
were
Young
not
Life.
nice.
I mean, Danielle, you played volleyball. You would.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know any of them. And we were always told, like, don't get out of your car. Don't roll up your windows. Don't hang out there. Yeah. Yeah. We never did any. Yeah.
Was there anything there in Midland for you guys to go to, Joni? In Midland League, something they had to.
No, we didn't really go on. We did Young Life, and we had Young Life with Midland High. And so we would go on ski camp and summer camps with Midland High people, and they were very nice. There might have been one Midland Lee person that was in that group, but we just didn't, like I say, you'd go to football games and the bus, the windows were rolled up, you could not say anything. You couldn't go to the bathroom by yourself. I mean, they made it sound like, we'd be killed if we did anything. So you didn't say much. You went, we did the game, and then we turned around and came home. Midland High wasn't that way though.
Now people in Odessa,
of course, now Midland Lee's do what?
Okay.
I said now people that live in Odessa go to Midland to eat and stuff, and shop, but not back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Alyssa, any concerts did you guys go to? And and also, were you guys big in a rock, or were you guys back? It's still
Rock.
Discos.
Definitely.
So,
Disco was big, but rock for concerts, rock was big. And that was one of the benefits of being a Pepette. We were on the JV team, Pepettes for the JV team, and they had beat OHS, and there was an OHS guy at the ticket door, and the concert was probably pretty much over, but we were trying to sneak in, and he said, oh, you're from Permian? I was graduated from the first graduating class at Permian. Y'all come on in. He let us in that concert free, and we were like, wow.
Who was at the concert?
We didn't look like concert goers, and so you go and go, oh, I forgot my ticket inside, and they always just.
But what concert was that? Was it? It wasn't
ZZ Top or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. I remember that because we were excited we got in.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, there were a lot of good concerts.
My mother wouldn't let.
Do what?
You broke up, Joni. We didn't get any of that.
I said my mother was always concerned about me going to a concert because I might have get secondhand smoke. Now, keep in mind, she smoked. So, I don't know. But
we did get secondhand smoke, but it wasn't cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
Any other concerts that y'all went to?
Yeah, we went to concerts, and then disco did become a big thing. And remember, what was the name of that nightclub that was
the other place?
Yeah, it didn't serve alcohol. And
that was CC.
Remember
CC Rick?
No, it was over there across from Cheers, or not Cheers. What was?
Yeah.
Place. Was it not Danceland?
Danceland, that's what it was. And remember they had a lot of disco, and we just go dance. That was our Friday night entertainment.
And we had a lot of, I guess that was more junior high. We'd have like play nights and stuff in a group all through junior high and high school played for us, and they were called Sweetbriar.
Yes.
We loved them.
They were really good. They could play everything.
They were good.
Did you guys dance?
Oh yeah, with guys.
Wow.
Mhm.
Did
Back
y'all
then,
did y'all dance well?
We took dance lessons.
We did.
Nice.
Could tell you.
we thought we danced good, didn't we?
Well,
remember,
we didn't do the
remember
bonnet.
everybody always wanted to dance with Walt Delaney if it was a slow dance. You know, remember that?
What grade did he move?
I don't remember.
Joni
Eighth or ninth. Eighth or ninth. I don't
I
think he
think
went to
or
Permian.
high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
He
he
didn't-
high school.
I don't know that I ever danced with
Yeah.
Walt Delaney.
Wow.
Missed
I
out.
did.
Maybe I should look him up.
Yeah.
Hey, Facebook talking. Did y'all ever go to when you were in high school? Did you ever go to Lubbock for a concert?
No.
Mhm.
Football game was it.
Yeah.
To Lubbock.
That's what, a 2-hour drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We,
Yeah, that'd be a
back
little
then,
too far.
Ector County Coliseum we'd have bands come in because it
Yeah.
was
Elvis was there. I
yeah.
would see
We
him.
had
Wow.
well, Three Dog Night, and what's the one?
George Strait was there a lot.
They sang oh gosh, I mean a lot of big bands. Elvis Presley, remember we saw Elvis there when we
saw
were like
Elvis.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was jellies then.
Well, it had to be
Moody
before. I had to be before 77.
He
Yeah.
was, he
Yeah, it
alive.
was. It was. I was 16. I remember that because somebody was driving.
I think Mr. O'Kelly took it.
No, we got out of somebody's car. Maybe it was Kathy's car.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
she could
okay.
drive. Remember, she had an early birthday.
Yeah, she did.
So when you guys were in high school, the legal drinking age was 18, right?
Right.
Yes.
You missed all.
Now, Alyssa can story about going in and buying liquor at BJ's.
Yeah, Joni's trying to talk me into going in and buying beer or whatever. And I'm like the most rule follower there is at this time, and maybe not anymore, but I was back then. And naive, scared to death, and she goes, "Now let me just tell you, don't get upset when they take your picture. When you walk in, there's going to be a camera, and they're going to take your picture." And I was like, "Joni, there's no way I'm going in that store. I'm not even going to walk in and buy a candy bar. If they take your picture, I'm not going to go."
Funny.
Did you buy the beer?
No, I wouldn't go. Joni had to go buy it.
See, where we grew up, it was a dry county. So we had to drive to Nazareth, was probably 45 minutes, or Lubbock. But we usually went to Nazareth just because it was north. I don't know if it's northeast or northwest, but because I never went, but I always had people buy stuff for me. But it was just the back roads, and it was easy to buy there because it's, I think at the I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know where it was in Nazareth. If it's the edge of town, but yeah, there was pretty easily to buy liquor underage from there, from
I don't
that
think they
store.
carded anybody. I never went, and I didn't drink an extra. So
I didn't either, but I mean, I would Thursday, Friday, people would say who's going, and you give them a few bucks, whatever, and they'll buy you a bottle or beer or whatever it may be. So, we had a lot of stories shared on our podcast when it came to on the way back. How many of them got pulled over and lost their alcohol, and so. But anyway, you guys were lucky you had it right there in town.
Yeah.
So, did you guys go any disco concerts?
No, I don't think we had disco concerts.
No.
Yeah, so the place disco floor, remember that? And with the light up, all different colors and stuff. The place was yeah, they always stamped your hand. I was telling Donnell this earlier. I remember I carried like markers in my car. I really will follow But anyway, what we would do is like one person who was there would get a stamp. And so then they'd stay in and come back out, and then they'd be like, roll the stamp on each other's hand, and then we'd all dance. It was fun.
Yeah,
But we were
Randy
really just there to
mentioned.
dance.
Yeah, Randy mentioned the other place had like the lighted floor, like they did in Saturday Night Fever, like the Javon
Oh,
John
yeah.
Travolta. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Odyssey, I think is the name of the club there at Bay Ridge, where I lived there for a couple of years back in the '90s. So, but didn't see John.
Oh,
So funny.
But
yeah.
so no disco concerts,
It
huh?
was,
But yeah, there had to have been some disco music, like I don't know.
Have,
Donna Summer was really big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Saturday Night Fever came out when we were
Yeah.
juniors, or I think maybe sophomores. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of when it all kind of started. I think.
Did y'all go
Yeah.
see the movie?
I remember I went with some older girls, and you had to be. It was rated R, so you had to be 17 to get in. So one of them gave me her ticket, and she went and said, "I lost my ticket. Can I get another ticket?" And they gave her another ticket, so I got in without having to show my ID.
Wow,
Y'all were full of tricks
Yeah.
back in high
I
school.
know.
Right.
Did Joni give you the extra ticket? Joni
Yeah,
seems
no,
like
it
she gets
wasn't.
all
I
this.
wasn't old
Joni
enough
has
either.
idea for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, she's the person. Yeah.
It was the mastermind.
yeah, she
That's why
was.
she's our leader.
Was
She
bad.
still is.
Hey,
Hey, Joni,
just got to.
I want to know where you got all of your resourcefulness, Joni.
Survival skills.
Fighting with her mother.
Mhm.
Joni's the kind of person you'd want. Those they have those escape rooms.
Oh yeah.
You want Joni in there with you.
She'll
Yeah,
just pay the guy
absolutely.
off to say, well, how do we get out? That's cool.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I mean, you can have an obscure conversation with one person one time in 1978 and kind of describe them and call Joni and say, who do you think I was talking to? And she'll nail it right there.
And she'll know
Well, I
what they were wearing and what they had on.
And what you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And what car they drove.
Wow.
Back in the
And what jewelry they had on.
Yeah.
She's handy to have around.
we did know license plate numbers because you drive to a bar and you're like, who's here? Well, you had to recognize car and license plates numbers, or it wasn't worth stopping unless you knew who was at the bar. So
So the important things.
Yeah.
now I don't.
You didn't have to
license
do
plate
that
number.
with Donilla's mother in Sunday school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, ladies, were there any
Right.
pranks done to the school? Because, like, we've had,
Oh,
I guess, our freshman or 8th grade year, someone drove a motorcycle through the hallways. Someone backed up a truck and had all the exhaust go into the hallway.
Oh no.
I mean, there would be students that do some kind of pranks. You guys remember any stories? Not maybe your senior year, but other years.
Donna, you
Look at Donella. Look at
Yeah.
her face.
I remember one time we were seniors, and I don't know who did it. I won't name it. I don't know exactly who did it, but they rigged up the speaker system
PA
in the
system.
school. Yeah.
They
They
stole
would-
Miss Jones' keys.
Yes, and they rigged it up, and so every day for I don't know how long during third period it would play "I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy." It would be Steve Martin, and they would just play it all through the whole school.
well,
I remember that.
didn't they stuff one of the rooms with like a ton of newspaper too, or something like that? Like filled it
like
up.
they walked and like filled it till it was like a foot high, like the whole room. And they found out who it was. Wasn't like the name on like one piece of paper, like whoever's newspaper.
Yeah.
And like these were smart, good kids. These
Yeah.
weren't like
Yes, they were.
They were like
They were
geniuses.
smart to be able to.
I can name names, but we're probably not supposed to.
Yeah, I'm not naming
Like I said,
names.
Lisa and I we're not from Odessa, so
The person, the people that in Donilla's story They almost stopped him from graduating.
Yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
they were going to be they were honor students that were going to go to Rice and big time academies.
Wow.
Yeah.
We thought it was hilarious.
They looked at it as a prank.
Yeah.
They looked at it as
And it
terrorism.
was an innocent prank. Nobody got hurt. It was just funny.
Yeah.
We thought it
It's
was
all done in
hilarious.
humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the faculty have a good sense of humor?
Yeah.
They were
Some
old.
I don't know.
They were all.
Yeah. I always felt like they were old.
Mr. Berry he was nice. He had a sense of humor.
He couldn't hear.
I remember one time when we did our senior play. What was that called?
Yeah.
Senior,
I don't know.
senior assembly or something. We had this. There was this part of the play where they had this ship. Do y'all remember that? There was a ship or something, and like the night before, they were calling all the girls saying, "Hey, bring us your bras, bring us your underwear." And when the stage doors opened up, there were bras and underwear hanging all over the ship. Do y'all remember that?
I don't remember.
I bet that they're all Jonies.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Joni.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't
remember
remember
that.
that.
And then after that, no one else got to do senior assembly anymore. I think we were the last group that got to do it.
You know, funny you say that. I don't know how far back it went, but I think we may have been the last year, Lisa, or maybe the 84, that there would be senior quotes and they will print them in the annual. And I know some guys from 82 will say a certain someone like FOND made F off and die. I mean, there would be some nasty coded things in there. And then it went to our class and they discontinued that after I think our year or the 80. I'm not sure, but it was
Our year. I think our year was the last time they allowed that.
yeah. So
Somebody always
So when
ruined
did y'all graduate?
83.
83.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all had did y'all have a good class picture where all your whole class
Yes.
remember those long photos?
Mhm.
What year was it, Michael, that there were a couple of really, stellar students who you would never expect to do this, but right when the picture was taken, this whole group of kids shot the bird. And that's in the senior photo. And they
I was
almost
class of 85.
Oh, wow.
I
graduated.
can go lay my hand on mine right now. It's about 100 yards from me because I'd say we've just moved. It's been months and we're still not unpacked. So I'll get a magnifying glass and see if any of our people did that.
Now, wasn't mooning big back then?
Oh, no, well, that was kind of after, wasn't it? After us,
Yeah,
You know,
kinda.
the streak
my
was
adult
for
years
junior
was a big
high.
deal.
Yeah, I remember that one song. I forgot the guy who sang it, but
Ray Stevens.
straight that's him. Yep. That's all. Too late.
He got a free shot.
Streak. Yeah, they did the streak too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start with you, Joni. Licks. Did you receive them? And if you did, from whom and why?
That's another Randy question.
That is.
No,
I
that's
didn't
a question we've asked all of our classmates.
I didn't get in trouble to get licks, but for some reason, I thought in junior high we would ask Mr. Poofall, like, the toughest guy of all, because you could sign the paddle. So I did it, and I think Carol did it with me. And it hurt, and I had a big old bruise for a while for some reason. But I never got any licks for like doing anything wrong, like talking.
Okay. Donella?
No, I never did. I remember Jonah, she wanted to sign Coach Curry's paddle and she got a lick. And I can remember her having a huge bruise. I was like, no way. I would.
So you guys volunteered, Joni.
Yeah, they did because they wanted to sign the paddle.
I hope you had jeans on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I never wanted to do it because it looked terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Katie?
I am not stupid. I'm not going to sign up to get licks just so I can put my name on the paddle. And no, I didn't get in trouble for it. I
So
didn't
no.
ever need licks for getting in trouble.
Alyssa?
We were afraid to do anything. We were rule followers, pretty much. I mean, Joni's questionable sometimes.
We really were.
Almost always, almost always. But
I'm
like
joking.
Lisa said, she's resourceful, so she doesn't get caught.
That's right.
We should have
Well,
all had licks in Spanish.
Yes.
Not
We
me.
were disrespectful.
Well, we had a vice principal, Mr. McBee. He was 5 foot nothing, but he can put some whooping on anyone. I'm talking about even a football player, 6'3", 260, and lift them up. I mean, he had a strong left-handed swing, and people knew of that. Yeah, he hit hard, but then they would still get in trouble. People will still get in trouble and get licks from our vice principal, right, Lisa?
Very convinced that he took great pleasure in inflicting pain and teaching a lesson via pain, and it wasn't pretty. And he was definitely revered and feared, and you did not want licks from him. You were gonna pay dearly.
So
Did you get him, Lisa?
Never. No, I was an extreme rule follower.
Okay,
I received all of mine in 7th grade, and I got like 5 in 7th grade. And after that,
are you gonna share what for?
well, one, I threw gum in Sue Welch's hair. She was our class, and of course it got stuck. So I got a choice to either get off the football team or get licks. I got 2 licks from Coach Upchurch. And then I had one, a friend of Gwyneth threw a eraser, hit me in the head, and I threw it back. Of course, I get caught throwing it back at him, so I got a lick from Mr. Estes. And then Gwyneth again, loved my man. He's still a good friend of mine. He was flipping me off, so I was flipping him back off. And one of the coaches walked by the hallway and saw me flipping. Well, I'm not sure if he thought I was flipping him off, but he caught me flipping off, so I got 2 from him. So,
Nothing too destructive.
no. So,
Well, Michael too. I mean, we were in sports, and I was a cheerleader from 6th grade to my senior year, and so we had very strict teachers and coaches, and you had to really walk a straight line if you wanted to participate in sports and cheerleading. And you had to have a certain GPA, and I had extremely strict parents, so I did not participate in high school activities. I didn't date. I didn't ride around. I didn't go to parties. These shows are fun for me because I get to hear what everybody did in high school, because I got to do zero of those things.
and see, I was the opposite. I enjoyed my high school years.
Yes, he did.
Yes, I did. I was lucky to have a Trans Am T-top, a 79 Trans Am T-top in my sophomore year. So yeah, but it was fun. So back to Odessa. What is a song like you would hear now from the 80s or 70s that will remind you of something related to that song, or maybe something happened that that happened during that song? Just any song.
When I hear, go ahead.
Like if you hear Ted Nugent, I guess, and Catch Rats Fever, of course you'll remember Alyssa's poster board. So an example like that. I'll start with Donella.
Yeah, every time I hear the Chicago, I can't think of the name of the song, but it takes me right back to the gym at Nimitz Junior High School, a play night or something. I immediately think of that every time I hear that song.
Nice.
No.
Yeah. Katie?
Well, this is going to go back even further than high school, but we would go to Donella's and we'd put on Neil Diamond, and we would sing every song to Neil Diamond and then David Sugar and a couple of others. We would sing for hours. And
hot August nights.
Yeah.
And also
fun.
Yeah.
Remember your dad had all of those albums like Pacific, what
Oh, like the play, like a
Yeah.
Broadway
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
And we would do all that. We would act them out.
Yeah. Also,
That
I
was
can
junior
remember in high school when we would go, maybe it's high school, probably Katie. I remember we'd always go to the lake and we always listened to Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always
We'd get in the boat and just
Yeah.
blare the music and
Cat
we make
Stevens.
our own songs.
That's right.
Cat, and remember Cat Stevens was big at the lake.
Yeah, I can't stand him now. That and the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Worst
Oh, that's right.
ever.
Yes. Yes.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And anything the Eagles play, that takes me right back to high school.
Yeah.
Cool. Joni, what about you, Joni?
Well, I would say Styx, Kansas, Journey, any of those. And of course, with all of us, if you hear Hawaii 5-0, you always think of Permian football.
That's right.
So we would always hear that.
Why is that?
It was a song that they only played when, I guess the first time they would play it would be OHS, and then you had to be in the playoffs to play it. And it was just fun, out metal drums and everyone goes wild. So
5 wins, 0 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be the state
Our
champion.
guys did not do a good job with their podcast if they didn't tell you about Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
They may have. I just don't remember. I mean, we've had several. They may have.
I'll check.
You know what? One of the coaches, Coach Brown, posted something about 5-0.
Yes.
He did. I forgot. And then I think Vic may have just, replied back. But I remember 5-0. Coach Brown mentioned something about 5-0. I got to look it up.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
Once you were in the playoffs, you had to win 5 games to win the state championship. So you had to be 5-0.
And now 5-0 means cops.
Yeah, that's right.
Did y'all listen to CCR?
Yes, some, not a lot.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So
Cool. Alyssa, do you have a song that pops in your, the year now these days and reminds you of these ladies?
Oh yeah. Anytime I hear a Boston song, or
I love Boston. I love Boston.
yeah, they had their first album when we were in high school, and then Leonard Skinner. We used to our swimming and diving team. Our coach played Leonard Skinner all the time, and so any of those songs, I think of practice was constant. That and Hootie and the Blowfish, and who else was big back then? Oh, what was that? Money for Nothing. Who sang that? Money for Nothing and Chicks for Free.
Dire Straits, but that's
Yes, Dire Straits was big time back then.
Okay.
And that's when didn't MTV start coming out about then?
They did.
81. 81.
Yeah, ZZ Top. Yeah, we graduated in 79, but it seemed like I don't know. I guess that was after.
All right, Alyssa, I'm gonna throw this at you. If you had cell phones back then with videos or camera, what would be a moment that you haven't mentioned anything right now so far in you guys, but what would be a moment that you would wish you would have had your cell phone, and what would the moment be?
Okay, that's easy. That we kind of touched on it at Donnella's house. We would get in her, I guess it was the formal living room, and it had a stereo, big, the old-fashioned cabinet stereos back then, and we would get in there and play all of that music, and we would act it out, and I mean, it was so much fun getting up there and doing, I'm gonna wash that man right out. South Pacific. And then Hot August Night, we would get up and act that out, all of those. And then your cousin Sunny, she would have the tape recorders. I don't think we saved those tapes, but that would be good to have. All the recordings we do, like it was a dark and dreary night. No one was at home except Teresa. And we just act, or we do the Miss America contest with the those were so fun. We had to just kind of create our own fun back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Katie?
The Miss America fun
Oh
that we
gosh,
would
there's
do.
so many of them.
Yeah.
It was we at lunch at we had a really short time, and most or lots of days we went across town. I think we had like 35 minutes, something crazy like that, and we would go across town and the people, it's a restaurant called Taco Casa, and he knew us so well. I guess we had told him we'd be there Monday, Wednesday, Friday or something. And he'd have our food out ready. And we were just, I mean, we were just gobbling it down and we were just flying across town. And it was so dangerous. But, you know, we just never thought, you know, you feel invincible.
We knew how to time the lights. Remember the street lights? We knew how to time.
Yeah, we had our route to get there. And a video of that would be priceless, to see us just running out of the school, piling in the car, getting to Taco Casa and then getting back, and you know, just harmless us. So that's would be mine.
Donella?
Going to talk. Oh, go ahead, Donnell.
Oh, I think at Katie's house, mostly swimming. That was usually the fun. We always had fun doing that. There were tons of kids there. Miss Young was she fed us. It was really fun. We always had a good time swimming, hanging out.
You gotta tell me an instance. Well, like what? Like, give me a share story.
Well, we swam all the time. I want to say all the time we were swimming, and I don't know. We were always there.
Okay.
And I don't know. We just spent a lot of time
there and cook or
Okay.
bars or whatever.
I can remember at Katie's house too. Is the first time they had Pong. You remember Pong? Katie had a Pong.
Oh wow, Atari Pong.
Yeah, it was like the very first one, and it was in her mom's bedroom. I'm sure her mother was like, "Get out!" But yeah, we'd be in there playing Pong.
I had that game. It was pretty nice back then.
Had to have been Jay's because I wasn't a gamer.
We thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yes. Joni, what about you?
Well, when we were juniors, Hermione let us do this, but this was really kind of nice of them. We got to pick our schedules. So when you your schedules, you made sure you had class with all of your friends. And we had an English teacher that I know the guys talked about because she taught Miss Clements. And we did a play when we were juniors, and I would love to have a video of that. I don't know if it has it, but it really was good. In our senior assembly, I would like to have a video of senior assembly because, you know, that was kind of fun. But other than that, I think we're probably pretty good that we didn't have phones to document anything that we did back then. We didn't have long, but however, we usually had at least a 5-minute jump on most people because we would harass Senor Cates until he let us out early every day. And anyway, so we would get out and run, and I don't know how we got to where, because we would go in, sit down, eat, and then come back to every place we went. So I really don't know how we managed to do that.
Sometimes we stop at Dairy Queen and get ice cream, right?
Mm-hmm. Sandwiched on the way back.
And all the guys ate the plate lunch. All the guys stayed at school, and we never stayed at school.
Do you remember
we never stayed at school?
Do y'all remember it? I don't know what made me think of this, but I guess you are talking about lunch. But at Nimitz, when that song "Roller Coaster."
Oh yeah.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, and there was some rumor about this girl getting killed on a roller coaster, and somebody screams, and so we would all get real quiet and listen to that, and then we would squeal when we thought the girl was screaming
when she was murdered or whatever.
Wow.
Junior high teachers hated us.
I think we were probably pretty cool to have a jukebox in our lunchroom.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it was cold burrito every day.
Jeez. Well, I got to share something with you ladies real quick. My video was I had two other friends, Andrew Dunlap and Daniel Perez. I'll make this story quick. We would lip sync, to songs. We would have a tennis racket, a BB gun, bat. So we would just pretend we would sing all these Kiss songs or Boston. And funny, it's like before our 40th reunion 3 years ago, I reached out to Lisa and Andrew and two other friends of ours, Sean and Gwyneth. I said, we need to dress like rock and rollers, get the wigs, and our 40th reunion before the dance starts, we go change, and we got Scott Broussard, another friend of ours. He announced us, and we came. No one knew this, and we came out in our rock and roll outfits, and we lip sync to Def Leppard "Photograph." And Lisa was the drummer. She had her arm behind her back, so she did the one arm drummer.
I had my arm inside the shirt behind my back.
So yeah, but I wish I would have had videos of me and Andrew and Danny, and we call ourselves MAD, M-A-D, Michael, Andrew, and Danny. And so because we were in middle school, so that was fun. But anyway, so what else can we talk about? Anything about spin a bottle or something? I don't know.
Jody claims she wasn't there, but we know she was.
There.
Someone wanted
to.
I'm not saying anything.
I don't remember how that. We were supposed to go.
We were in 6th grade.
I don't know how we did any of it because we were supposed to go to Montia's, which was all the way across town. So some parent would have had to take us. Montia's were our dance lessons. And we just said, no, we're not going to do that. And then
I thought it was on a weekend. Wasn't it on a weekend?
Well, I think it was on Sunday afternoon, our Montia's deal.
Oh, okay.
I'm not positive. But I don't know who had a bottle. I don't know who said, let's go to Gonzales. I don't know. I know Martin didn't go.
Yeah, we didn't have cell phones back then. I don't know how we knew how to do that.
And how, I mean, did we tell them that Montia's was, I don't know. I don't know how any of it happened, but it absolutely did happen. And I don't know who all was there, but I was there.
There were 4 girls and 4 guys. I remember that for sure. And we kind of kept spinning until we got who we were supposed to get.
That's right. Well, it was the same 4 boys all through school, so you kissed them all. Come on.
Martin wasn't there, so
yeah, you kissed them all.
Somebody filled in for him.
No, Martin was definitely.
What's your version, Jody?
Well, I don't. But if Martin and I were probably at Montia's following the rules.
All right.
No, that Martin was a rule follower. It's the big burrito story.
How long have you and Martin been together?
We just had our 40th anniversary this summer, but we met in the 5th grade when we were 10.
When did you guys start dating? Okay.
Late college. Our parents were really good friends, so we traveled together a lot. And then, as you can see, as a group, we all did pretty much everything together. So he was in our group or we were in his group. I don't know how you want to phrase that. So we were all together a whole lot. But we have been married 40 years. So he knows all them and they know all him. And then we know all the guys that you did for the Permian Mojo.
Now, I'm going to ask this because I asked the guys, Odessa had a huge, I mean, they were probably the best high school, consistently being in the playoffs, winning state champs. I mean, Mojo was a huge name. And I asked them, did they have any pressure knowing that, hey, we got to win this year or their senior year? I mean, it's like every year the town expected them to win. I assume. I assume. So if you guys knew some of the players back then, And if you can recall, was there pressure on these young kids?
Absolutely.
Tell me
Absolutely.
why. I mean, besides what I just said.
Well, they would look at the class, like Donnell was talking the Big Burrito story, 2 years older than we were. And they were, for lack of a better word, kind of a subpar class. The boys were more interested in partying than they were, Coach Wilkins' work ethic and all that. And so I don't even know that they got out of the district, did they not?
No.
And so then they're going, we can't let that happen to us because it had just been built. It wasn't like a bad pressure though. Those guys learned such valuable lessons of teamwork, and they still are exhibiting it today. And it's really a cool. We've lost a lot of that, I think, and that's just my feeling on it. But the pressure was to succeed, not just to win, to be the best they could be.
Yeah, we just assumed they would. We didn't think it. I never thought anything different, that they would not win. I thought, oh, they'll win. They won every champion. I mean, I think I've been to every football game they've ever played in, and they've won every time. So
Now you guys won state champs 2 years in 77, right?
No, 78 and 77, 78.
Were you guys Pepettes in?
We lost to Plano.
Not till, yeah.
Only the senior year were they Pepettes.
No,
So that would be the 78 football season.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And while we were juniors and seniors, we lost to Plano in the quarterfinals, I think.
Well, our senior year was the semifinals.
Yes, one of them. Yeah, it was the same. Yeah.
Did you guys go to Lubbock and play and watch our game, Plainview, and what do you remember about that day? How was the weather?
It was cold.
I think it was cold. I can't remember. I can remember. Only thing I can remember, when we were sophomores in high school, we played Odessa High. It snowed like
it was so
crazy.
fun.
Yeah.
But
that's Winter's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
I do remember that.
That was fun.
That psyched them out.
I'm sorry?
That psyched them out because the cheer sign said Frost Winter's Wonderland, and we had a huge snow that night. It was just like, an unusual amount of snow.
Yeah, I think we ended up playing the next day.
Yeah.
First time that ever happened. We didn't play on Friday night. We played on Saturday because of the snow.
We got there and we had to go home. But with the guys, we're talking about winning and expectations. They played Pop Warner football all the way through. And so we won at Pop Warner. Then when we were at Nimitz, we won, at Nimitz. And like when we were in 9th grade, they moved our game with Bonham to the stadium, to W.T. Barrett Stadium, because there were like 70 people there to watch a junior. And then when we got to high school, we won. So it was just like an expectation that you just thought was going to happen. And then when I went to a couple of games, and I'm like, wait, we lost. So I wasn't used to being on a losing team. I wasn't that interested in going to after that. So I for the winning team all the time. So that's different. But those guys just had, when I got just the core guys of Randy, Vic Martin, and all of Roger, all of them that we went on, they just had a work ethic where they had a bond with each other. They just played well together. And I know people, they say, oh, but Permian paid people to come and you brought, I'm like, yeah, no. We know the quarterback and the center. It was guys I've been with first grade. So no bought and brought in. The guys just, they weren't players. They were just serious about what they were doing. And you didn't see them at Lambert's Land getting drunk or anything like that. They did what they needed to do for the, and they were good. They were just good.
Well, it is funny because
Yes.
we're about the thread, and I said Martin's thread has 17 people on it. Well, a lot of those went to Nimitz, which was our junior high. And in the 7th grade, they were on, and they may have shared this with y'all. They were on the gold team or the blue team, and they both won their season. But one of them, and I should know this, but I don't. The gold team was undefeated, or the blue team won, and they still fight about that 7th grade year on. We were better than you because we were undefeated and y'all had a loss. It's just so funny how they just, it's really cute. It's not like they can't get out of the past. It's just fun for them. So there have been some we've lost that could not get out of the past, that don't participate with any of the guys' things that they do, and they reach out to them in silence, which is kind of sad, but
Well, it sounds like their pressure was self-imposed because of their own desire to win. So beyond the expectations of classmates and community, they expected themselves to win.
See, when we played you guys, that was our first year of our head coach, and he brought our community together. He brought the band together. When we would go to do our state competition, regional competition, Coach Sherwood brought the football players that night and gave us a pep rally. I mean, that was on call. I mean, no one ever's done that. So the football players cheered us on and told us good luck for our regional, and our band director OT and Coach Sherwood become really great friends. But you mentioned these guys been playing some Pop Warner. Our guys did too, but they were under a new coaching system our first year.
Oh.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know. Well, Lisa, you want to ask them about their teacher influence?
Yeah. So go ahead, Joni.
Charger. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait till she comes back to ask the question.
Yep. We'll be lost without Jody leading us.
I know, right? You guys.
I love your.
Hey, did you guys get any snow? Because I know our hometown Plainview got like 5 to 11 inches of snow.
Yeah, we didn't get any. Well, I wasn't here. I was in Dallas, and
we got 5 inches of dirt.
Yeah. Well, I know my sister lives in Lubbock. They got snow.
Yeah. Abby was in Lubbock and they got snow.
And did you guys get affected with that 80-mile-an-hour winds that happened like a month ago? Did it reach you guys? You too?
Of dirt.
Awful.
It was like the 60s. Do y'all remember how we get sandblasted in Gonzales on the playground?
Yeah, because they never watered the yard.
Yeah, and that sand, when those winds would come, we'd run to that chain link fence and turn around, and our legs got sandblasted.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it hurt. It stung so bad.
We got sandblasted in Plainview. Trust me, it was.
Yeah, I played baseball, and there's a couple of games in Amarillo that it was so dusty I couldn't see my outfielders. I was pitching and I literally couldn't see the outfielders. It was that bad. So
is Plainview Plainview's like in between Lubbock and Amarillo, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're closer to Lubbock. Yes.
Okay. Do you know Thad Bartley? He has the funeral home.
If you don't, you will.
Is it Lemons or is it what's the other one?
Thaddeus Bartley. Hey, Jimmy. Well, anyway, they have the funeral home there.
There's Lemons, and then my dad he passed away in January. We had his stuff at the other one. Jesus. I don't forgot the name of it.
It may be closed by now. I don't know.
I don't. Lemons is the only one that comes to my mind. So while Michael's I want to ask a question. So is there a teacher, and it doesn't have to be high school, but I mean, if it is, that's great. Is there a teacher that really just left an indelible imprint on you, that just really made an impact on you? And I'll start with Joni.
Well, we talked about her earlier. Miss Clements was probably our best English teacher, and but our best Spanish teacher that we had was in junior high, Miss Hawkins. Like everything I know in Spanish today, which is very limited, I would have learned from Miss Hawkins. But then we all thought we needed to take Spanish in high school for every year for some reason, and we harassed that teacher. And Mr. Cates, I'm not saying he made an impression on us, but I feel sure we made an impression on him. And every day he would come into class. Okay, we did this thing. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of this. It's called a quaternion event. And we went to Midland, and Miss Hawkins took us, and there was like free reading. I didn't do that, but we did a song for some reason. We sang a song, two songs, and then we did for the talent. Yes, we probably all still know I could sing it, but I won't. But anyway,
we're not going.
So Mr. Cates, so every day we would walk into his class and we would start singing the songs we sang at that event. And then he would write on the board, "It's not unheard of for an entire class to get D Hall." But yeah, Mr. Cates. But Ms. Hawkins is who we learned our Spanish from. So
she was a lovely person.
And then I'd say Miss.
She'd let us
Miss
go
Hawkins was
early.
great.
Remember on Enchilada Day, she'd always let us go early.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, Alyssa, so is there a teacher that really impacted you or helped you or that just left an imprint on you? Positive one, not a negative one.
It was that question too.
Alyssa.
Oh, me? Yeah. Oh, I had several. Mrs. Durham in junior high.
Why?
She was an English teacher.
And why?
She was.
Why? Oh, because she was really into our music at that time, and she would try to integrate that into her lesson. And then I guess the other one was LaRue Moore. She was an English teacher as well, and she would encourage me to write extra. What was you had to write your in English or research papers? Yeah, she encouraged me to write extra ones, which helped me in college. So I appreciated all that.
Excellent. Donella?
I loved Coach Hayes when we were at Nimitz. He was a coach there. I loved him. He was a great teacher, and I think he taught history or maybe taught Texas. I can't remember, but yeah, I always loved Coach Hayes, and I love Miss Clements too. I thought she was an excellent teacher. I love Miss Johnson. She was an algebra teacher. I thought she was a great teacher.
She was.
Yeah,
She
was good.
Katie?
My most influential teacher was Susie Hirsch, and she taught government. And I loved her class. I loved how she just brought the Constitution alive. And it really stuck with me. And if I were 21, I would go be a political well, if I were 21, skinny, tall, and blonde, I would go be a political consultant, because I just, it breaks my heart, our voting record in this country, that 30% of us bother to vote. And it's just shocking to me. And that all started from her. And I've really never done, I blocked for candidates and stuff, but I've really never turned that into the passion I wish I had of when I was young and stupid. But anyway, she made a huge impact on my life, because this country matters.
Yeah.
Good point.
We're not serious when we're in high school,
No.
when we're in high school, you live so in the moment. You're not thinking about your future.
Somebody else will take care of that.
Yeah, you're so in the moment.
And they did. And now we're going, what happened?
Anyway,
So is that everybody?
Yeah.
Right? And do you want to go and ask your question?
yes. Okay. So before we do our parting words, we always end with this question. Knowing what you know now, with all the life experiences that you've had and the wisdom and discernment that you've developed over the years, what would you tell your younger self? And I will start with you, Kate.
Well, I was kind of talking about this yesterday because my daughter is moving to Lubbock, and it just breaks my heart because I've been keeping my 3-year-old, now 4-year-old granddaughter every day. And everybody goes, Lubbock's just 2 hours. But, you know, when you see her every day of your life, 2 hours is a long way. And I noticed that when they go up there and visit, they don't seem to be plugging into a church or a faith community. And our son played high school and college golf, and all those tournaments were on the weekends. And we never even considered missing a golf tournament to live the life that we should have been living. And I'm just like, wow. And so I would have, and at Baylor, went to Baylor. I'm not sure I ever went to church once. You know, I grew up going to church and stuff. And not that church is what gets you where you want to be, but it is important to build your community. And this community is really special to me because we're all walking the same faith walk, and it means a lot. And so I would tell my younger self, don't let that pass. Don't just gloss over it and say, I'll do that tomorrow. Which God does give us a chance to do it tomorrow, and I'm doing it tomorrow, which is today. But I'm sorry, I didn't pay much attention when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Paid attention before it's too late, so that's important. You've redeemed yourself.
Well, it's a daily reprieve.
Tony, what about you?
I feel like in high school, I pretty much just listened in class, took tests, did fine, but like really didn't apply myself. Like, I really didn't know that you needed to till I went to tech and I realized, oh, I've got to read that book before I take the test. So, I mean, I was just focused on just getting through and, as long as I didn't have to take the final, I was good with that. So I think I probably would have applied myself a little bit more. I had plenty of fun. And, so there's a lot of that I wouldn't change.
Of course. Okay.
No, we were good kids, Katie.
I know. I've never doubted that.
Yeah, Donnella?
I think I'm with Joni on that. I think I would have tried to be a little better student. I could have cared less. I don't think I ever studied, not once. So yeah, I think I would have tried to be a little better student, had a little more focused on what I should be doing.
That seems to be the common answer of most people that we ask this question to. Yeah.
Right.
Alyssa, I was the opposite. I wish I would have had more fun. Alyssa?
Yeah, I think I wish I'd been a little more looser and maybe not been so dedicated to my athletics and things like that. I think I would have, I really wish I had spent more time focusing on my friends, I think. But I've had that opportunity now, so that works well.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Well, it looks like it all turned out okay, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any regrets.
All right. Since
not one.
go ahead. Anyway.
No, I was like, I don't have.
Alyssa, since you were at the end of that, do you want to go ahead and say your parting words?
Parting words? Oh, Joni, thank you for including us in this. It's been fun, and I love you girls so much, and I'm looking forward to the rest of our next 10 years together, or 20, or whatever we have left. So we got to plan that next girls trip.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joni?
Well, I'm just glad that, they all agreed to do this. I mean, I kept telling them it's just a conversation, just like, we're just together. I mean, it's the same thing. And, these are three of the original Gonzalez girls. So we go way back and stuck together through it all. So it's been fun. And, we'll have to thank Vic someday for, making sure that we did this. And, I told them we won't tell stories on them that we can't tell on, out loud. So we'll be good. Anyway, it's fun. It's been fun.
Since I'm married to one, I can tell whatever I want.
All right, Katie, what's your parting words?
No, I'm just, I'm so grateful to be a part of this group, them and the girls. And it just, I don't know, not to sound arrogant, but sometimes we just seem, I don't know, a step more towards where God wants us to be as a group. If I have something going on in my life, I can reach out and we start a prayer group or I don't know, or we'll think of something totally off base and it's stupid and we laugh. It's just fun doing life with them. And I didn't have a clue what to expect from this because the guys had football plays and they can talk about their 7th grade field goal or whatever. And we don't have those memories, but we had plenty to fill in our time. So I'm blessed.
Yeah.
We're all blessed.
Last but not least, Donella.
Well, I think you hear such horrible things about Odessa all the time. And I'm just so thankful I lived in a place where I could have friends like this and a very hardworking group of people. Very, very blessed to be able to have these friends.
Well, before Lisa get in yours, I want to thank you, ladies, because as I mentioned, this is our first podcast. It does not have any Plainview people. So my goal is to hopefully extend in the next 2 to 5 years to other high schools and just do what you ladies did. And you guys are the beginning of this. And thank you. I mean, it mojo, ladies. So I want 2 spinoffs, and I'm gonna and Joni, I'm gonna be on you. I want 2 spinoffs from this show. Well, actually, we're gonna have one, which is gonna have twirlers. We're gonna work on that one. The other 2 is have Vic, Martin, and Randy with you 4 ladies all together, do one show with you guys together. And by the way, Randy said he loves y'all. I forgot to mention that. And the other one is do a live podcast when you guys are together on your trip to get you guys all together and talk. So, Alyssa, you're gonna have to be on camera for this one.
Okay, I'm gonna lose a bunch of weight before then.
So, but
Again,
ladies.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
One quick thing about Randy. My grandparents live right next door to him and his family. So, Joni, was it you or Donella that we would talk through the window to Randy?
Yeah. Spending the night.
Yeah, they had all this bamboo. Remember all that bamboo growing up between the yards? But when I'd spend the night with my grandparents, we'd go in, we'd lift the window and talk to Randy through the window. Y'all remember that?
Yeah. Funny.
So I talked to Jeff Pickens out my window.
Do what?
I talked to Jeff Pickens out my window.
Oh yeah. Well, and Roger and Donella.
Yeah.
Like right across from each other.
So I guess telephones weren't invented back then. Kidding, ladies. I'm kidding.
No, we were like physically located close together.
Well, I want, so those are the 2 shows I want, you 4 ladies and the 3 guys. I think it'll be a fun one. And of course, when you guys go on your trip. So I'll stay in touch, Joni, and thank you, ladies. Well, it's been a little over 2 hours. Lisa, do you want to go ahead and say our parting words for these ladies?
What Michael said, thank you so much for agreeing to come on and just share your stories and really the story of your friendship. And it's been a real blessing to us to be a witness to these really, really special friendships. And I hope you recognize that what you have is something really precious and rare. In this day and age, people don't stay in touch the way, they don't form bonds because people don't live in the same place for a long time anymore, it seems like. And so, you come from a generation that you got to grow up together. And what an incredible thing that after all these years, you have this really special and unique sisterhood, and how blessed y'all are. And thank you for blessing us with your presence and your stories and being willing to come on and participate. So we're really, really grateful to all of you. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll publish this on the Go Knuckle page on Facebook. So if
And
you guys can, I'm sorry?
And
Yes.
YouTube.
Yeah, and
When
YouTube. Yes. If you could share the Facebook page onto y'all's page, because you'll get more views that way. I would appreciate if you guys could do that. And thank you. We had a lot of fun, and then hearing the perspective and how you Odessa people
Well, it's been a
live.
pleasure meeting y'all.
Yeah, it has. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you,
sweet.
ladies. I hope you
Thank
get
you.
better,
Thank-
Katie.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good night, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Joni.
Bye-bye.
Alyssa, if you can hear me, Cornerstone's the other one.
Cornerstone, okay.
Okay, that's the only two that I know. It's
I
Lemon.
have Facebook, but I took the app off my phone. I'll try
Yeah.
to look it up.
Okay.
My husband's on there all the time though. So
Alright.
Cornerstone.
Yes, Cornerstone and Lemons are the two that I know of.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Well,
good
enjoy
night.
it. Thank y'all. Good night.
Thank you. But good night.
Good night.
That was great. I enjoyed them. I mean, you can tell they've known each other for so long. I mean, they complemented each other.
Yeah, that's why I said, they have a sisterhood. And,
Yeah.
I'm being a girl and having a sister, you're not closer to anybody than your sister. And to have, sisters from other mothers is a really special, special thing. It's definitely something that's, envy's not a good thing, but it is an enviable thing because not everybody has that. And, I don't have that. I don't have those bonds with anybody from high school. And I think it's really rare and really special. And it's really sweet to,
Yeah.
to witness
Vic meant
someone.
when Vic told me, I asked Vic, "Do you have a question?" He told him how they kept playing. He even said it's a rarity for friends to stay together this long. I mean, I'm lucky to have Andrew and Alex and Danny. I mean, I grew with other guys too, but you have your core
Yeah.
that you just stay in touch for all these years. And think about it, we didn't have Facebook uh
Right.
12, 15 years anyway, and we still stayed in touch.
Well,
So
I have to rephrase that. I don't have girlfriends, but I have my guy friends that I've stayed in touch with. So I'm
yes,
super blessed.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, tomorrow night, guys, we're gonna have Phyllis Wall, Cindy Wolf, and Rodney Watson. They're the committee members of the Plainview All High School reunion, which is going to be happening in mid-July. I think, oh, I'm sorry, the 17th, 18th, or 18th and 19th. I'm not sure, but it's that weekend.
Yeah,
We'll clarify that tomorrow's show, but stay tuned. And thank you, guys. Peace and love. Peace and love. See you tomorrow night.